Right, so after playing the UFC 5 beta, I've split up my thoughts into 5 sections. So yeah, starting with the first one, gameplay. So I actually liked it. I see everyone saying that they didn't like it, but I actually liked it. Of course, I'm taking into consideration that we're missing half the features because they didn't include half of them in the beta, like the head movement stuff and the footwork stuff. But of what we have so far, it has potential and I actually really like it. It did have some flaws, which we'll be getting into obviously, but like we need to keep in mind that this is a beta. It isn't the finished product, and I know it's in a month. The game's coming out in a month, so that could be worrying, but they're gonna patch it up. They're gonna patch up any of the mistakes, I think. Also, there was this like contracts thing where you could play against the CPU for like coins or some stupid shit, or I don't know. But anyways, you could play against the CPU, and hard difficulty was actually hard. Pro and legendary were kind of similar, where they were actually really difficult, and I'm not sure if it's because I'm not used to the game yet and that's why it's kind of difficult, but I'm Division 20 in UFC 4. I play this game non-stop. I played the beta a lot and I was really struggling. Like one of the legendary modes, you had to fight against Israel Adesanya as like Paulo Costa, and he generally was fighting me like Israel Adesanya, like keeping the space, you know, switching stance, side kicks to the body, you know, the way Izzy fights. Of course not the way Izzy fought recently against John Strickland. That'd be bit shit, wouldn't it? But the CPU was actually smart, which is a really, really good sign for someone like me who makes tournaments. Right now, let's talk about the graphics. The models in this game are actually really good. Like all the characters are, well, fighters look really, really good. Also in that CPU thing, there was walkouts before the fights. We got to see that early. I didn't actually see a lot of people notice that, but the walkouts look really good. Moving on to submissions. Now you're probably waiting for this big analysis for submissions, but I'm not really that used to it because the game was only out a week. You don't really get used to the submissions that quickly, especially with no offline except the contracts thing, but no one really played that, so I'm not really going to go into much detail. It seems really promising. It actually seems really good. I did get one guy actually cheesing. Like, why would you cheese in a beta? It's like the saddest thing ever. But a guy was spamming submissions and his stamina doesn't get drained, but me defending the submissions does, which is a bit stupid. So fix that please, EA. And yeah, we're moving on to Dr. Stoppages. Dr. Stoppage, honestly, when I seen it in the trailer, in the deep dive or whatever, I was like, oh, that's cool, and moved on with my life. But now that I've played the game with Dr. Stoppages, it actually is so cool. And I know this should have been added ages ago in one of the older UFC games, but now that we have it, it actually makes you really think about your defense. Like I kept leg kicking someone, call me a leg kick spammer, I don't give a fuck, but they jabbed me every time, and eventually my eyesight and the nose, you know, the way your nose can get affected and your eyes can get affected now. So I think when your eyes are hurt or damaged or whatever, it might affect your like accuracy and maybe a bit of head movement or something like that. But getting your nose affected from a jab actually affects your stamina and stuff, which is just so cool. And then obviously the cuts, like with that jab, when I was showing the leg kick, when I was getting cut, I was like, I need to stop kicking him with the leg. I was having success with the leg kick, but the fact he was cutting me, the doctor was going to stop the fight, so I had to switch my game plan, which is really cool. It just adds a completely new element to the game that I just think it's really, really good. The doctor does get called in a bit too often, though, I'm going to be honest. They don't stop the fight often at all. Like I played so many fights, and I think I had 2 doctor stoppages in total. From my experience in the beta, it is kind of rare for the doctor to stop the fight, but literally, like, the doctor keeps getting called in just does not stop the fight, and it's just like, why is he here? Like, we've seen this animation like a million times now. It's just a bit annoying. Also, with the doctors, it's really obvious what the doctor's gonna do, like what their decision is. Like DC's commenting and pretend they're not gonna stop the fight, right? DC's like, there's no way we're gonna stop the fight, there's no way we're gonna stop the fight and stuff, and the doctor, you can tell by their like body language that they're not gonna stop the fight. It's the same animation every time, and when they're gonna stop the fight, DC, the commentating, he says like, this fight has to stop, this cut's too bad and all. It's so obvious what the doctor's gonna do, so it takes away that suspense. So hopefully that's just what they have in the beta so far, and they'll add a bit more randomizing to it and fix it up. But yeah, it could be just a bit more variance of what the doctor kind of reacts, and not just one reaction for not stopping the fight and one reaction for stopping the fight. So yeah, that moves us on to finally what needs fixed, in my opinion. This is my opinion. Stamina usage is a bit weird. They need to kind of fix it. What I was saying about the submissions, with spam and submissions and stuff, your stamina doesn't get drained as much, so they could kind of fix just sharpening it up on that. But the biggest thing with stamina is spamming. The amount of times people have just non-stop spammed me, and it's so overpowered. Block breaking is so overpowered in this game, especially like someone Sean Strickland or even Izzy. Israel Adesanya was so good in this beta. He's so good. Someone like that though, even Alex Pereira, even anyone could just spam you and your block breaks really quickly, and then they just keep dropping you over and over again. And then you look at their stamina, and their stamina is perfect. Like, there should be almost like a spam detector that they can detect, all right, this person's throwing far too much, they're definitely spamming. Just have it that your combos take up way more stamina, because it's just the same as UFC 4 in the spamming kind of area. It's just the same, like, especially with the cheese as well. You get people clinching and, you know, doing the choke, like the standing guillotine, and trying to take the backpack and stuff. It's just, those things are kind of hard to fix because people are going to figure out a way to get past it and cheese the game because they literally do not go outside. And finally, you get cut a bit too easily. I know it's a lot faster paced than real life UFC. Obviously, people just go out spamming, like I said. But like, I feel like after 2 jabs, someone's cut and they're completely split open and it's running down their face. It's a bit unrealistic. Like, they should make just the cut resistance a little bit higher, and that it takes a lot more to cut someone, basically. And yeah, that's everything to do with the beta. That's my rant over. Well, it's not really a rant. I actually really enjoyed the game, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. And if you didn't enjoy it, don't buy it. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you later.